microphone is now on, apparently. And now we're going to transition over to our faces. Hello, everyone. We should hopefully be live and hopefully it's all working and everyone can hear and everything's fine. Testing, testing. We'll see what people say. Hello. Oh, that's a great idea. Look on Twitch to double check. Check the volume of the games. Wait, what? Yeah. Hi, is this Jake? I'm Jake. I'm Jake, and that's Chris. That's Chris from Payload. I'm Jake from Autistica, and we can hear you. Thank you for the confirmation. Everything's cool. Okay, so um, basically, this is kind of the last part of our annual Autistica Play Day. So earlier today we had talks from one of the researchers, Brett, who leads our autism employment program, and then we had a panel discussion with a whole bunch of people talking about neurodiversity in the games industry. Cat, do not jump on my computer. Um, and now we're here with Chris from Payload. Earlier in March, we. What are you doing, Cat? No, you've left me alone the whole day. Why are you doing this to me? I'm on stream. Jeez. Oh man, he tried to like climb all over the keyboard. That's dangerous, man. Okay. Of course. No, the cat's fine. He's a rambunctious little demon cat. He's good. He's literally just sitting there looking at me. Hello. Cool. So, what was I saying? Yes. Earlier in March, we held the remote relaxed game jam in partnership with the Tentacle Zone at Payload Studios. And Chris was my partner in crime. And today we're going to be looking at the shortlist. While all the amazing games which you can see behind me, this is so cool. All the games you can see behind me, they're all amazing and you can play them all. There's actually a click-through button down below. You can't really see my finger, but there's a click-through button down below where you can click through to play all the games. And right next to it is our fundraising campaign that we've done on the back of this, because all the games were created based on real autism research. 3 themes looking at alternative communication methods, co-occurring mental health conditions, and employment. So we're raising funds for the real research behind the themes for the games. So if you did feel like donating, please do click down there. It says how your donations can make a difference. So yeah, Chris, anything you wanted to say? Yes. Oh, hold on, Chris. People are saying that you're really quiet, so let's have a look at what's going on there.
No, no,
Um,
I'm not on mute.
it may be because I didn't have the desktop audio active, so they may have been picking your voice up through my
Oh, okay.
headphones. So hopefully now it should be fine. Apologies for that. Um, wow, there's like a whole bunch of what? There's a raid going on apparently. Okay, great. Nice one for raiding. It's actually from
Okay. It's
Kage
all go.
Games. Uh,
It's all working now. Yay! Good.
Yes. So yeah, Kage Games has just rated us. So Kage Games is one of the guys that made one of the games. He made the board game, uh,
Yeah.
Pay It Forwards, which we're going to be mentioning in a bit. But yes, Chris, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's just been a great effort. I think between the two of us, we put a little bit of time over across 6 months or so in the design and delivery of this. and it's been a really, really great experience to see 60 people, 63 people join and make games. We got 23 games, and that's been amazing. It went above all of my expectations. So yeah, congrats to everybody who put together a game and who submitted it, and everybody who's been with us on Discord throughout the journey. And congrats to Jake, who's been like this rock throughout the whole journey,
It's
always following
Friday.
up and always being there and being like, okay, this is the next step. Okay, this is the next step, and so on. So yeah,
Cool. I'm just tweeting out about it to let people know what's going on. But yeah, I think what's the first thing we want to do? I think the first thing what I'd love to do is I'd love to read some of the quotes from some of the judges. I'm not going to mention the games. I just want to, if I can. I don't know if I'm able to. Some of the quotes might be kind of obvious, but I think regardless, I think it'd be really great to kind of talk about some of the quotes because we've got people that judged us. So it's like independent. Each judge judged independently. There's people from Yuki, BFI, Autistica, and then obviously Chris, Payload, and then there's the other people from Autistica that represent different things. So autism research, science team, Discover Network, and then obviously myself, games. So there was a whole group of different people that voted. So let me finish this tweet and then we'll look at some quotes.
yeah, go for it. I mean, I'll keep people entertained while you compose. It From a game development point of view, it was really great to see all types of games be submitted. We've had games made in experimental engines, we've had games made up from scratch almost, we've had games made in Unity, as well as Jake was mentioning, the board game that was submitted as well. And I think, especially when you have something like a 7-day game jam, the way that we did, you are expecting different levels of quality, but I think all of the games were really good to just go through and see what people made. Some of them were more personal than others, and we're going to get into this in a bit once we actually play the shortlist. But I think that we really appreciated the fact that a lot of the jammers took us with them on a personal journey, through what they've been through.
Cool. So yeah, so I've tweeted that out now. So where are we? I want to see
I
what.
feel like I'm dissolving in the background here.
Yeah, it is a bit weird when you move and it kind of like doesn't quite get it going right.
It's like, no, the headphones are still part of my head.
So let's have a little look at some of the quotes. I'm gonna read. You'll probably guess some of the quotes, but as in what game it's referring to. But let's see. I really enjoyed playing this and did several times as I could not keep Anne happy in level 3. I like that it shows that there are different strengths and difficulties everyone has, but that it is about balancing them to keep everyone happy. And that's from Bethan, who leads our Discover Network at Autistica. Let's see, should we read another one? Okay. Here's one from Brett, who leads our DARE program. This one might be a little bit telling because obviously DARE was one of the themes. It was about employment, so you can kind of guess that he might be a bit more interested in the games that were looking into that theme. So, brilliant, a nuanced and detailed reflection of the interview experience. That could actually be used to help train managers to not make assumptions so quickly when they interview autistic people. It understands that autism may present differently in different people and that different interaction styles are possible. The graphics are slick, the music just right and not distracting. The fact that it provides feedback on the choices you make is also excellent. So that's from Brett. I'm just going to read one quote from each judge, I think, and then I'm going to read one from you, Chris.
It should be noted before we go through all of them that basically the way that the judging went was that we all played all each of the judges played all of the games
Yes.
and then made a top three that we sent to Jake, and then Jake put all of them together and got the top three of the top three basically. So it's
Yeah.
possible that we all left quotes on our top threes. So for
Yes.
example, it might be that one of the quotes isn't one of the shortlist games, but it was one of the notable ones by the judges.
Exactly. So all the ones that got voted, we're going to mention them, but then we're going to mention the top three. But again, the top three, it doesn't. I mean, yes, it's a short list, but at the end of the day, all of the games are super awesome, and it's super crazy that like you guys took a whole week to create these amazing things. It's amazing. It's really, really, really amazing. So the short list is just an extra bit of fun that we thought we'd do. So
Well, it used to be more, but we all got locked in our houses. 'Cause originally, the shortlist was going to be showcased at the BFI.
yes, yeah. Yeah, so obviously the original plan was on the 30th, we were going to have a thing at Payload Studios where people can play all the games. And then on the 2nd of April, we were going to be at the BFI talking about the top three, the shortlist. So today is kind of a combination event in the current climate that we're in. And also, if you are looking for resources for anything to do with the current situation you find yourself in, you can go to autistica.org.uk/coronavirus. The Autistica team have put together loads of really interesting and informative resources. There's also, if you look on our socials, there's the campaign that we launched yesterday for World Autism Awareness Day, hashtag Ways to Cope. That's WAYS number 2 COPE. Just watching the cat, making sure he doesn't try and come over. Yeah, so that's basically looking at how we all are coping and giving examples and tips on how we can cope together. Kitty, let's get this over and done with. Come here. Come here, Kitty, come. Kitty, come. Yeah, now you're going to try and go around that way. Come here. Come here. Yeah, okay, let's get this over and done
He
with.
just wants to say
He
hi.
just wants to say hi. Just wants to say hi. Here's my cat. He's not the most strokeable, but he is quite invasive. Okay, so anyway, so Chris's comment. Let's see, which one will I read?
Amazing. Kagai, we'll look into doing a play day after the lockdown, but obviously, since we don't know when the lockdown will end, we can't make
Yeah.
any promises at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning. All these games are so amazing. They're all listed on the Autistica Play website as well. So we've kind of highlighted them all there. They're obviously all on itch. And then you guys are, I hope you guys continue to develop and make them better. And then in the future, whatever we can play whatever the latest version is of your games. Obviously, with the board game being a printed version, perhaps. So for Chris's shortlist, we're going to go with Differentiate. Takes a novel approach in using RPG Maker to tell a story and is the only game using this engine at the AutisticaPlayJam. The developers did a great job of working within the constraints of the game jam with limited time to use resources effectively and tell an impactful story about adversity, becoming comfortable in oneself, and making friends. You can tell that's written by a developer. Let's see, we've got Yuki, Dominic from Yuki. So one of the ones that he votes for was the Wordlandscape. I mean, I've given up trying to hide it now. You know which one it is. Visually, I love the game, and I think the way it interprets the theme into the gameplay is nice. Yet I feel what holds the game back for me are the apparent invisible timer that counts down but wasn't on my screen, and the lack of animated UI to accelerate the art style to the highest level. Dominic, they made them in a week. Okay, it's amazing what they did in a week. Okay, and then a comment from me. What have I not read about? A lovely polished experience. This is very accessible experience presented in a fantastic, simple but highly caliber art style. I could see this being an episodic mobile game / experience with each episode touching on a particular aspect of autism and the challenges or strengths that come with it. And that's obviously Kevin and Maisie. And then obviously there's some ones that need to be mentioned just because they're awesome. Uh, Again, they're all awesome, but I just wanted to mention that one of the games isn't one that you can play um, online or in your browser because it's a board game. We've mentioned it already. We mentioned the developer Kaga Games. So Pay It Forward. It's a board game. It looks amazing. Really excited to play that when we do get time to play it physically. But I think, shall we go into the shortlist, Chris?
Yeah, yeah. Let's. I mean, as I as I mentioned, everybody kind of like put their point, not points, put their suggestions together, and we came up with a list of three games which you would have showcased at the BFI.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some honorable mentions first. One of them, as Jake mentioned, is Pay It Forward. We absolutely loved being able to have a board game, and I think Jake even went on to print it and have a play. We definitely would have done more with it around our studio if we would still be in the physical
Yeah.
studio. So yeah, congrats on that. It was really great, and I can't wait to play more of it. I also always appreciate having board games at game jams. Then another one is I Don't Know by Shuhei, which was probably the shortest experience in the jam, but it was one of the most visceral ones,
Hmm.
where you can actually see the game mechanics represent the feelings of the person or the emotions or the things that they're going through. And I feel like that's really hard to do in games, especially when you have complex emotions like being confused or being able to or not feeling comfortable with expressing how you feel. um, so yeah, congrats on both of those. Those were really really good. As Jake mentioned, we also had the word landscape, which came quite high in our lists, as well as where are you? Oh no, that's it. I think that's it. Word landscape. I don't know. And
No.
we also had Make Me Happy
Yeah.
by Video Games Without Borders, which was a really really interesting management game that you had to play to make sure that you would be able to satisfy as many workers as possible in a workspace that you were managing. And that leaves us with the shortlist with the three shortlists. First, however, I just wanted to say, uh, who was it? Somebody said that Bicheza said that my green screen is nibbling my shoulders. I don't have a green screen. We're using Zoom. And they have their fancy AI nibbling my shoulders, basically. But yeah, when you said green screen, I realized that I'm wearing a dark green shirt. And I was like, oh, wait, if I had an actual green screen, that would have been really bad. Some are Apple and Linux compatible. That is true. Or you can always try and set up a virtual machine if you want to play them on Windows. Hi, Georgia. And then lastly, Kaga Games is asking if we didn't get to Pay It For because of the pandemic. We didn't get to play it with our studios to test if we played it. Where are we? Back to Zoom. Yes. So other than that, the top three or the short list, I don't like the idea of top three because that means that we each had like our own different rankings. So one is the interview, as Jake mentioned earlier. Another one is differentiate, and another one is Kevin and Maisie. So all of these games were kind of like blew us out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel like we would be happy, at least on my side, I would be happy to talk about any of these for a very long time in terms of how they impacted us, how well we were able to play them, and how easy they were able to be played when you're looking at a certain target audience, and also at how they represent the theme that the developer was going for, and the general purpose that we had out of this game jam, which was to help Autistica um, talk more about their purpose at public events. Did I miss anything, Jake?
No, no, no. I think, yeah, at this point, just a reminder that if you did want to check out any of the amazing games that were submitted, there is a click through button down below. You can play the games for the Autistica Play Jam. So there's literally one button for that down below on Twitch. So please click that. And then there's also a button saying how your donations can make a difference. So obviously, a major part of this is the real research behind the games. So if you did want to make a donation to allow Autistica to continue the vital research they do, please do click that button. You can have a read on those themes as well. But yeah, it's World Autism Awareness Week. This is a great time to kind of support autism research. I think also with the situation we find ourselves in with the isolation, it's also a time in where many of us that are neurotypical that maybe would be experiencing things in a very different way are now kind of understanding what it might be like to be more isolated from the world and be kind of a little bit more locked in terms of our accessibility to the world around us. So through that, I'm hoping there might be a more of an understanding that autistic people might be dealing with when we're not in lockdown. But anyway, yeah, so there's a fundraiser page there. If you did want to donate, fantastic. Please, anything is more than welcome. We do have some people that are supporting us on there already. We've got a donation from Nick Marshall, who's from Boston Studios, another one from Joe from Natural Motion, and we also have Retro Princess, who's in chat. She's fundraising for us tomorrow with a Pokemon themed event. She has raised, I think, almost £500 so far, which is amazing. There she's in chat. So she'll be doing that tomorrow. She's already raised over £500, and she's not even streaming yet, which is amazing. And then also, currently, right now, Brain in Hand are fundraising for Autistica as well. They're doing a 24-hour Minecraft marathon where they're building a Wild West frontier. So if you want to help them build that, you can join them. They're building it from 11 a.m. today to 11 a.m. tomorrow. So if you do have Minecraft you want to join, you can check them on Twitter, Brain in Hand. But on that note, I'm going to pass over to Chris. I'm going to mute myself because basically what happens is while we play the games, when I speak, then the audio tries to readjust. It doesn't sound quite right. So I'm going to mute myself. So unless I need to say something, I'll unmute myself. But for now, I'm going to pass over to Chris and we're going to go through the shortlist.
I think, Jake, we talked about you muting yourself just between our Zoom calls, but staying with your mic open on the Twitch stream.
That is a good point. So I'm now going to mute myself so that Chris can't hear me, but I will still be speaking so you guys in chat can hear me. But I'm going to try my best to be aware of Chris taking lead in speaking, so I don't overspeak. I don't speak over you. Okay, and I'm going to mute.
Yeah, so I hope everybody is seeing my Chrome window. The first thing I'd like us to do is just go through some of the submissions. So, as I said, it's 23 games. We are really, really blown away by all of these. And I think we wouldn't necessarily be doing anybody a favor if we didn't talk about at least a few of them. So part of the way that this game jam worked was that we had a Discord server, the server's still up, where the jammers could congregate and where Jake and I held daily briefings between Monday and Friday on the days of the jam itself. So quite a few of these were actually shared with us while the developer was making them, which is absolutely amazing. You know, one of them is Speak Up by JJ Fox, which is a game where you're in this labyrinth, I want to say, and you're meeting people with various neurodiverse needs. For example, you meet somebody who is only able to communicate via pictures, and you need to find and you need to get a fish for them, if I recall correctly, from a lake, so that they then give the fish to a bear in order to progress. There was somebody else who could only communicate by hopping around like a bunny. So this was a really great game. We were able to see the progress throughout the jam. Another one was, where are we? Slightly further
I
down.
suppose.
Here we see the games that we mentioned earlier. This is I Don't Know, and this is the interview.
I suppose at this point, sorry, I just realized that seeing as there's not gameplay, I can speak in this part as well. And I just wanted to mention that Draw Duet, that was only available on Mac, but literally I just had a conversation with her this morning. So for you out there that haven't played it yet, it's now accessible on Windows as well, so you can play that. And I also wanted to mention as well, above there's Natural Tone. Natural Tone is created by one of the Autistic Play ambassadors as well, and it's her personal experience with dealing with audio. It was made before the jam, but I think it's just worth mentioning that one is actually a personal experience from one of our ambassadors. But
there's two games here which were made before the jam, but we got them submitted just to make sure that we had them.
Yeah.
So Natural Tone is one of them, and the other one is Playground. Here's Paying It Forward. As you mentioned, that's the board game. Assimilate was a really interesting one. I absolutely loved playing this. So you're a human in a world of aliens. Jake, feel free to say something about it as well. And it's full of metaphors. And like real life scenarios. You need to put on a mask in order to go out of the house and to blend with the aliens out there. You have an orange cat that you're able to play with. You have these 3 meters that you need to keep under control. One of them is energy, another one is anxiety, and another one is fear, I think.
Yeah.
And it tells a really, really awesome story about how even something that could be a mundane event for a neurotypical person can be catastrophic for somebody who's neurodiverse if you don't plan for it in advance. And another game that I'd like to mention, this is the World Landscape, another one that we had in some of the shortlists. It's really great. You basically have to collect words and put them in 3 categories between food, animals, and color and emotions, or colors. Food, animals, and colors. Yes.
Yeah.
And then another one that I really liked that again felt like a personal story was Slapdash Socks by Sunny Go Wild, where you put together socks to gift to your neurodiverse mother. So yeah, I absolutely love playing each and every one of these.
She posted that one out on Twitter actually on Mother's Day, which was really nice to see. So I think she may have taken part in the game jam, but with a purpose of using it as a message to mom. So that was really nice.
Right, so shall we try playing one of the games?
Yes, and this is where I'm going to put myself on mute because, like I said before, the audio doesn't sound quite right. So I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
On there.
And I will now play some Differentiate. Something that's really important to keep in mind with this game is that while having the audio on, I need to put my headphone to the side so I can actually control my my voice level. So to differentiate, there we go. Share sound. So the whole idea, something that we need to say before we start playing this game is that it can be triggering. So having stuff like suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety, and trauma, these are all real triggers. So we might end up finding these in the game. So you might want to go away for the next 5 or 10 minutes, or just change your screen if that's something that you're having issues with. But yeah, so I'll start playing now. You can see that this is what I mentioned. This is what I was referring to when I said that they made a really great use of resources. All of this, as far as I can tell, are assets from the RPG Maker asset store. And without having a really big team and a very talented team, you wouldn't be able to put even these assets together in a coherent gameplay loop outside of inside of a week. So that's why I really appreciate what they were able to do. They wanted to tell a story, and they found really good ways of doing that. This is our main character, name's November, born in September, not a happy child. I'm not going to go and read through all of these because, like, actually read aloud, because I feel like it's a lot more impactful if the audience just reads through them at their own pace. So I'll just go slightly slower.
Chris, I know this is going to mess up the audio, but I do think it's worth, if we want to play this game, let's just skip through the audio, the text, so that we don't we reduce the triggers. And I think let's just try and get through a bit of the game so that people can see it. And if people want to experience it themselves, they can. But I just remember we played this last time; it was very triggering. So I think, yeah,
cool. Yeah, I think another thing that I really liked was the fact that they blend real life research with the game itself. We will keep seeing these types of video interludes. So you can speak to all four of these people, or you can just move through. And what's really interesting is that the more you play, the more you learn. But also, you'll find people who encourage you, as well as people who aren't necessarily very supportive. And you get a lot of cat videos, which is really nice. What's really interesting is that once you actually play a bit more, you go into actual battle. So these are the inner demons that you need to address.
Intruder alert.
And this is again something that RPG Maker has built in. You're able to have these battles. You need to configure each character in each battle, but you know they were able to take this struggle with your inner demons and put it into an actual mechanic where it's like, oh, you're battling actual baddies. That kill sound is so funny. Yeah, the whole experience here takes about, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, but it's really powerful, and I think all of us who played it felt something while playing through this. And you can see that the way that they've managed to blend the visuals and the sound together with the actual gameplay experience is quite powerful. Also, you make friends who join your party, which is again something that you're able to do in RPG Maker. And then once you go into another battle, you see that you have another party member. all of these baddies that you're fighting, they all relate to things in the creator's past or present, and yeah, this is why it's been for me such a powerful experience. I think I'll just finish this battle and then we can go into a game if Jake's okay with that, and then I'll let everybody else experience the game at their own leisure. The one thing that you need to remember is that you can use things like restore or healing a bit later on in order to heal yourself. So you want to keep your health up as you go through this. And the battles are the easiest battles that you find. Okay, almost there. You're going to go against 2 and 3, 2, 3, 4 enemies. It can get quite hard. And then you're back and you can see that you already have a friend. Jake, are you okay if I stop the share now? And go into another game? I don't know if you're muting. Okay, cool. I see a thumbs up. Cool. So
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
one.
great. There's loads of cool conversations happening in chat as well with people like really identifying with it and like. So there's also Georgia Harper in the chat as well. So Georgia's part of Autistica as well. So she's part of the policies team. So she's there. She's the one with the caps, fighting demons with pizza. Also, Chris, just to mention, I don't know about the other two games, but the level of audio versus your voice, it was a bit hard, at least for me, to.
Too high?
I think the game audio was a bit high, so some of what you were saying at the end during that last battle, it was hard to hear exactly what you were saying.
I was putting on my best BAFTA game judge impression.
Oh, cool. Wait. Oh, yeah, from
Because we
yesterday.
had the BAFTA Game Awards yesterday.
Yeah. That was cool. I enjoyed seeing everyone dress up real good. But yeah, people are just saying, yeah, it might be a bit loud. But
Okay.
yeah, they were loving it. Oh, what's next?
The interview. I'll try and turn the volume down even more for this, just to make sure.
Cool.
Where are we? Google Chrome. There we go.
Hey, that's kind of cool. It blanks it out, so we can't even see it. All right.
Really?
I
had no idea how that went.
Yeah. I couldn't see anything. Right. I'm gonna mute myself again on Zoom. So chat. I can still chat to you, although Chris is chatting, so I'll just be quiet.
Yeah. I mean this game is very polished, which is quite hard to find in a game jam unless you see things done by a professional team. And when I say polished, I don't necessarily mean the quality of the graphics, although that's really good as well. I mean everything is coherent. So if we go through start the game, this is your boss. Basically, the story is that you need to hire the best person for a position that you have open, and you interview all of the candidates, and each of them is going to have their own quirks, and you need to hire the best person. But throughout all of this, you get feedback on how you're doing in terms of interviewing someone, which is really good advice. And then at the end, you get overall feedback on how you did with the interviews as well. So this is done in Unity, and it's really great to be able to get something like this in Unity, as well as get it to look good and to feel decent while you're playing it. So props to the artists and the programmers for this. Better hire the best candidate for the job, otherwise I'm gonna fire you. So you have three candidates, as I said, and I'll start just like I started when I played this fully with Sam. So this candidate has brought someone for emotional support. Is that okay with you? So when you hear it, you're generally like, oh yeah, sure, you know, it must be their friend or somebody that they trust, like a family member. And you're like, oh yeah, sure, let's you know, let's let them in with their emotional support person. And then you see that it's a doggo, and they have brought a golden retriever with them, which is really really cool. So yeah, please have a seat. The dog has a seat as well, and we learn that that's Jack. It helps them when they're nervous. And then you go through the questions, and you generally have two questions to ask. So what makes you unique, or what makes you uniquely suited for this job? And you'll see that the way that these are worded allows you to actually see how you might ask the question, what makes you unique, but then adding a more professional spin on it, or just generally adding more details, is going to lead the question into a discussion or on an avenue which might be better for somebody who might take things literally. So what makes you uniquely suited for this job? Sorry, I should have scrolled a bit more there. So you get more and more information the more you talk to them, and you can make your own decisions later on. And you can see that these are exactly the type of things that you would get in an interview. So, what makes you uniquely interested? How do you work with teams? Why did you choose this field? These are exactly things that you would get in an interview. You notice Sam is getting quite anxious talking about their mentor. So it also tells you that as the interviewer, you should be having a look at these types of non-verbal cues. But then the dog just kind of chimes in, and everything's better again. And these are exactly the type of textbook things that you would be looking for in a really good candidate, as well as the music being really, really soothing. And also, the person who wrote this is trying to give you hints about what the job is looking like. So to be honest, you say that, to be honest, being detail oriented for this position would be a great bonus. Why do you want to leave your current job? I was hired right out of uni. And I can't necessarily grow in this position. So let's go with Alex next. Again, tell me a little bit about yourself, what attracted you to this field. So if we take the other route and say, just be vague, tell me a little bit about yourself. You do get the chance to save it. Do you mean about me as a person or me as a professional? So, professional. You get, again, a lot of good answers. Mega Company Inc. Several performance awards, people won twice. And sometimes you do get comments about their posture. I think one of the developers is in the chat. Hi there, NEPSD. You notice Alex's gaze is drifting away and they're not maintaining eye contact. So do nothing to let them finish your point. Wandering away, but they sound confident. about what they're talking about, even if they're not looking directly at you. Did you apply for this role? Work achievement, an achievement you're proud of. Let's go with this one. Rescuing my dog Izzy. Everybody has dogs in this game. It's insane. It's so cool.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I know this is going to mess up the audio again, but Annie, the one who developed this, is asking, did you play the bad outcomes?
No. What are the bad outcomes?
I guess we'll find out in chat.
We spent several minutes talking about dogs. And then it goes back to the professional route. If you're asking so if you treat people, or if you're asking wrongly, or if you're asking the wrong questions, imagine that you get fired. The game will talk to you about it. Okay. Yeah, Alex talks to you a little bit about what happens outside of going to the pub, basically. But then, your company has really good policies around that as well. You run annual pickups and raise money for charity. Yay. Then lastly, Morgan. First question is, tell me what brought you here. Literally, what part of the job ad attracted you the most? Morgan is quite shy, needs some prompting. A bit more about her skills. You can see that their facial expression changes based on how good you've asked the questions, how well you've asked the questions.
Hey, Chris, Brett's in the chat as well.
Hi, Brett. It's the exact type of job for the previous years.
I think maybe we should end this one here. I feel like we don't want to give one game more coverage than another. We didn't play differentiate too much. Cool. Yeah, and then it also gives us opportunity to chat with the people in chat. We got the developer there. She said some really key things, which I think is important. She's chatting about how she did lots of research to make this game, how she made the names and all the pronouns gender neutral, because anyone, any gender, any race, anyone can be autistic, and anyone can also have the skills needed to perform a job. So it's about making sure that you don't have those biases, whether conscious or subconscious, and by playing this you can hopefully become more aware of it. And then also some of that was quite important was she said she wants hold on, isn't it she? I think it is. I can't remember. But anyway, they would like everyone, all HR people in the world to play this game. And I fully agree. I believe Brett also agrees. Definitely. Yes. Okay. Whew, for a moment there, I'm talking about gender neutral everything. And then I'm like, she. And I couldn't remember. I remember speaking to her previously. But I then forgot which pronoun she preferred. So fantastic. I am her. Yeah, so there's Brett. I do. So yeah, that was great.
Cool. Last game of the day then?
Sure, yeah, the last game. Okay.
Was everything better with the audio?
It's
and the mic?
It's still a bit like the volume of the game does still drown you out slightly. So it's, I mean, for people in chat, are you guys hearing everything all right? Is everything good for you guys? Oh, so here's the last game. Oh, this is
hope this is going to go decently well in terms of yay, that's our logo. Decently well in terms of the mic. So this is Maisie and Kevin.
I'm gonna go on mute again.
Go. Voice is very quiet. I'm sorry, I can't do my voice louder, unfortunately, but I can maybe take this lower. I hope this works better.
No.
That's basically my sound. So Maisie takes care of Kevin. Anywhere on the street. Maisie. We're going to the post office now. So many animals today, Retro Princess. And really great graphics. And easy to understand outlines and contrasts really nice as well. So we've played this before, but yeah, we did see the feedback when it comes to UI. The idea is that you have this little backpack pouchy that comes up here. You can give Kevin a strawberry. It's very cutely drawn. We're almost there. I hope that we'll be able to go through all of it because it's a relatively short game. I recommend everybody like take the 5 minutes to play it. Hope you can hear the crowd. The bunnies. Then if you give Kevin the headphones, you get music. And now we finally got to deliver the letter. His little tail is waggling. This is so cute. And there we are. 3 games for the shortlist.
Oh, all those games are amazing. I just want to play them all again, and all the other games. I'm looking at some of the games behind me actually, like the word landscape. That one's cool. I mean, these are all. This one was amazing. I forgot what this one's called. Is this Assimilate? No.
No, that was the self-explanatory. Yeah,
that's the one. That was. Oh, that was.
We played it together.
Yeah. It was
so part of it together. Yeah.
So confusing. But that's the purpose of it. What else we got behind me? Oh, there's a chair. Oh yeah, and then that one there. That one's by Helen, one of the other ambassadors as well. That one was cool because that one's like old school GTA.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was tough.
That one, and there was. That's the one we.
You've got like an angry boss or something, and you need to keep them satisfied. You got to like take out the trash.
Yes, that's the one. And then there was the other one, which was Office Jam, where you had to run from one part of the office to another. Yeah.
And then there's also, oh, my fingers disappeared. There's also that one here, Suhi's little game. I don't know. That was so small, but it's so impactful. It makes total sense. It's great. What's this? Georgia, it's a shame you can't make the background follow you around in real life so you can point at the games you're talking about. Oh, imagine that. If this is just, I could just put some background in real life and go, you should play this game. You should play that one there. Play that. This is Tentacle Zone.
Yes.
they hosted the Autistica Play event. There's Autistica Play. So yeah, these two together made this
We can
event.
make Jake wear a sandwich board. That's the dream.
Yes, I could do that too, and then I can just point at the sandwich board. That works too. Yeah, but that's the short list. So yeah, Chris and I had such an amazing time working together. It was so great to work with Tentacle Zone, Payload, and just it was so great to kind of have them welcome us in. Every day we had like the live stream using their setup, and then we held the events there, and just to have their expertise when it comes to game jams, because I've never hosted a game jam before. I just know that there was a need for this, and yeah, like Chris and I, when we met, it was early days, and we knew that something was gonna between us. We were gonna do something impactful, but we didn't know what it was at the time. Um, and yeah, here we are at the other side of it. I mean, who knows what happens next? Maybe the games get more developed going forwards. Who knows? But this is definitely not the end of the Autistic Play Jam. I'd love to see what happens next with the games that you guys created.
Well,
Um,
they go on the website.
yes, there you go, exactly. And yeah, if you want to play the games, link to them again is down below. There's also the fundraising campaign that's going on. That'll be live for the whole month of World Autism Awareness Month. We've got Retro Princess who's in the chat, who's fundraising for us in support of the game jam. So she'll be fundraising tomorrow on a Pokemon themed day. So I'll obviously be checking in that as well. I'll be there with her as well. There she is again in chat. Hello. Um, and yeah, just another massive thank you to Chris for just being such an awesome dude in throughout this entire process and kind of dealing with me being a little bit of a need to do things perfectly, need to make it right. Um,
Hey, we're at the other end.
we're,
That's
and
really
it's a
important.
Friday, and it's a Friday.
And it's a Friday. Yeah.
Fridays are great.
This is Teratech, by the way, behind me here.
Yes,
That's the game that Payload Studios are making. If anybody wants to check it out on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Switch, then
yes.
it's there. But yeah, I thought it would be a good background for this, much better than my clothes. Which
Definitely, and you can
I made
build like the stuff you can build in Terratech is crazy. Like you can customize, you can make some epic, I don't know, vehicles, flying things, driving things, like machines. Just yeah, it's pretty cool. Just check it out.
Pedro
Um,
said, I like that you guys do games for autistic people like myself. It was the jammers, it wasn't us. We just enabled them.
and a lot of the games were actually made by autistic people or involving autistic people. So actually, thanks to them, the autistic people, autistic developers, and neurotypical, neurodiverse, a whole group of different people created these games. So it's not us. We just facilitated the jam, and then all the wonderful people that felt like they wanted to take part in this, they took part. Some of them was for the first time, I believe, taking part in a jam.
Quite a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, I know that Draw Duet, uh, it was her first jam and also her first game, which was very impressive to see what she created with that Draw Duet for her first time. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for the games part of thing. I am going to be sharing some resources and a couple of videos to kind of end off the stream. Chris, I don't know if you wanted to stick around, but I mean, you're more than welcome to duck out if you need to do something else, or you can stick around and listen to me talk about coronavirus resources and all that. It's up to you.
I think I'll head off. It's been a long day. We had our
Of
company
course.
meeting today
Yes, that's what I was
as
thinking.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you folks take it from here. Then thank you so much for having me. It's been again really great working together.
Of course, it's been awesome, and I look forward to what happens next. I believe you're going to be working on another game jam soon. I don't really want to say anything about that, but very excited to see what comes next. Whether it's after all of this madness, but very excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, we will see.
We will see. Cool. Great. Thank you so much, Chris. And yeah, have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, same to you, and thanks everybody who's watching. You're the real stars, and go play the games and let us know what you thought of them. Bye.
Yes. Cool. Awesome. Bye. Okay. Oh look. Whoa. Okay. Full screen. Ah, that's a lot to take in all at once. Haha. Okay. Whew. That's that's an unnecessary. Why is it so full? Why? Okay. Hold on. Let me. To be honest, I wasn't really planning this amount of fullness. It's fine. Okay, let's see. Yes, it all looks fine. It's all good. That's fine. Hi. Okay, so the stream is almost over, but I just wanted to share some resources with you before we go. So let me just bring up a couple things. It's not an overwhelming amount of fullness. Yes, fullness with two S's. There we go. Okay, so I feel like a newscaster. This is kind of odd. Right, where is it? I need to find the thing. You may be able to tell this part was less scripted than the previous part. So I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and play this video. It might not work. You might not get audio. I did have some troubles earlier with it. But basically, for World Autism Awareness Week, World Autism Awareness Month, Autistica scrambled together with this new lockdown thing that's going on, and we put together a campaign that everyone can get involved in. And it's called Ways to Cope. So hashtag Ways to Cope, WAYS2 as in number 2, Cope, COPE. You can find that on socials. And basically, to kick this off, we created a video where it brings everyone together from Autistica, from our various places, so like from all our individual homes, ways that we cope. So hopefully this should play and you should hear it, but do let me know if you can't hear it and I'll try and work that out.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
How's everyone finding week 3 of the coronavirus lockdown?
Right, morning routine, kettle goes on.
So, decided to come out for a morning run. We're doing a hill climb at the moment, so I can't really talk.
To keep routine in my day, I like to start every morning by walking this pair.
Which is a little bit of routine we keep in our day, every working day at 3 o'clock, where someone from the team puts up a song they like, and everyone else listens in and dances like no one is watching, because no one is watching. There have been lots of great songs, but today's is definitely the best. This is a wonderful little bit of Disney, who's going online now. Oh yeah. Excuse me. I've got to do this.
Nice one, Ed. Our researchers also recommend that it's really important to keep up our special interests while in isolation, whether that's practicing on our favourite musical instrument, playing our favourite video game, or doing a bit of cooking. My special interest is watching Ed dance while his camera is still recording.
I've been making a point of listing and writing down the positive things from each day. Just kind of reminds me that life goes on and good things are still happening.
The coronavirus has forced everyone, including everyone here at Autistica, to embrace new routines and a different way of life, which we know can be very distressing, especially if you're autistic.
That's why we've created a hub of evidence-based resources on our website, aimed at helping autistic people and their families through this difficult time.
We've also launched a campaign for World Autism Awareness Month. We want you to share your top tips on how you're coping, and then spread some fun by taking on a creative fundraising challenge to raise a bit of money for autism research. Go to our website for more details. Thanks.
Are we doing it now?
No, we're just waving to your daughter.
All right, okay. All right.
Oh, love streaming. What a fantastic thing to do at the end of a busy week. Isn't it great? Okay, there we go. So mic is working. Hopefully it's all good. Yes? Great. Okay. So there we go. So that is Autistica's video they released, or rather we released, for World Autism Awareness Month, basically looking at how we're coping and asking the wider community to get involved online and share how you're coping and any tips that you can share or challenges that you're facing. It'd be really good to hear from you. And if you did want to do more, you can take on challenges while you are in lockdown to fundraise for Autistica during this month. So there is one that I've already mentioned a couple times, but I'll mention again. Down below on Twitch, you can find a link to all the games that have been created. And then next to it, you can find another button that if you'd like to donate to the jam and to the real research behind the themes in the jam, then you can donate there. We have a couple of donations on there from independents. And then we also have Retro Princess, who is fundraising for us tomorrow. I believe she has hit her original target of £500 already, which is amazing because her event hasn't even started yet. It starts tomorrow, a Pokemon themed event tomorrow, so do check that out. I will of course be there now and again in chat as well, supporting, just like her amazing community that she has. And Retro Princess is also one of our ambassadors. We have a group of Autistica Play ambassadors. These are people that work with me and help me kind of spread awareness and spread awareness and kind of identify opportunities for Autistica to kind of raise more awareness, fundraising. And also they're a group of neurodiverse people. So they represent a whole plethora of different neurodiversities and different backgrounds, different ages, different jobs. But all have a passion for games and obviously making a difference for autism research and autistic people. So yeah, really great, really excited to see that. And also there is currently a fundraiser going on right now. It started at 11 a.m. this morning. It's being hosted by Brain in Hand. So they are fundraising by doing their annual Minecraft marathon, and this year they are fundraising for Autistica by building a Wild West frontier. So if you play Minecraft, or if you know anyone that does play Minecraft and wants to join in, I'm sure they could do with your help in building that frontier. You can find out links to that online, but hold on, let me just actually grab that for you on Twitter now, and I can put that in the chat. I've just seen someone post a picture of me, and it looks like I'm contemplating life very deeply on Twitter. I'll go back to that in a second, but I just wanted to share a couple of the links here for you. So here is a link in chat for Brain in Hand, the fundraiser that is live right now. And then here is a link to Retro Princess's Pokemon themed fundraiser, which starts tomorrow. Here you go. And then, of course, I mean, down below you can see the fundraiser, but I'll also post that here just in case you're too lazy to click down below and you'd like it also in chat. So here is our fundraiser that we are doing, that if you'd like to donate to or fundraise yourself like Retro Princess, you can take part in that throughout the month of April. I'm trying to think if there is anything else that I wanted to share, and I think what would be good to share is the resources that we have. So let me just share this. Oh, let me not bring that up here. Let me bring that up down here. There we go. Fingers crossed this works. I need to see what you're seeing, so give me 1 second. That is changing the screen. Let me put this up here and get this working this way. Okay, 1 second. There we go. That works better. Let's just do that. Okay, so this is a better way of doing it. So here is our page for coronavirus. You'll find lots of information here. Coping with the uncertainty of coronavirus. For anyone that's struggling with anxiety, you can have a look at that. Tips for managing mental health during coronavirus. There's some tips there from people from the autism community. So please do check that out. And then we'll be adding more webinars here. You may have seen a couple of the webinars happening today. There was 2 that was part of our annual Autistica Play event, but there was also one that happened just before that, which comes from our science team. So do check this out if you want to see more webinars happening over the coming weeks. And then also one of the things that was mentioned earlier is this resource that was put together by Brett. So this is impacts of coronavirus on employees. So this is for employers and how they may want to support their staff. And then there's also this resource for other people that are planning on hosting online events and how you can make that more inclusive, whether it be providing information up front, letting people know about the agenda beforehand, giving people reminders, things like that, worth checking out. And then my ways to cope. Now I'm hoping this should just open the page that I was going to show next, which it does. So this is the video that you've just seen. This is the campaign behind it, my ways to cope. There's the video that you just watched. Here's the hashtag, great. So in case you didn't know what I was spelling, that's the hashtag. So please do get involved in that. It'd be great to see some of the tips from you and ways that you're coping. And then this is one here. If you did want to fundraise and take part in the challenge, we have a whole bunch of things for you to select while you're isolated and stuck at home. These are all taking into consideration that we can't really leave our houses. So here are some things to consider. Naturally, I'm going to be most interested in the ones that take part in this. So this will take us through to Autistica Play page. And the Autistica Play page, this is basically where I live as my job. This is me, Autistica Play. One of the new things we've added is this here, fundraising for us. So it's a little toolkit that helps you fundraise for us, whether you're on Just Giving, like Retro Princess, or on Tiltify, like Brain in Hand. These are the 2 platforms you can choose from. Of course, there are other ones, but these are the ones that I've listed. There's guides on both platforms to help you fundraise for us on those platforms. And then just a few tips for those that are maybe new to streaming, things to consider and how to go about it. And then there is my contact information, my Twitter handle, and my email address. If any of you would like to get in contact, please do. And then some links to a media guide on how to communicate about autism. Obviously, if you are autistic yourself, you may have preferences, but this is something we've put together of the most accepted terms and ways in which we communicate. And then also our current research. So now hopefully when I minimize this, it should be me again. There we go. So that's really, that's it for me today. I think we've all done quite well in managing to pull off 2 digital webinars and this stream in place of the physical events. So I do hope you've all enjoyed that. I hope that you've all been able to hear me fully and completely throughout the day. I know there were a few little delays and things. We did have a little hiccup earlier where we had some not so nice people interrupt our webinar, but we quickly rectified that. So I think it's just really important to make sure that we're all taking care of each other a little bit more and just being a bit more understanding. And I'm sorry for anyone that may have been impacted by the trolls that came into chat earlier today on our second webinar, but they were swiftly handled, and we managed to kind of pick it back up and do it again. I can only apologize for that, but hey, these are things that come with learning, and all we can do is put more security in place. And actually, it's been really great to see nothing like that happen on the chat here. I was really concerned that we would get some trolls coming over here because it is an open platform. But I'm sure Retro Princess, Georgia, and other people have helped massively in keeping the chat clean. So on that note, I think really just I hope you'll have a wonderful Friday evening, a wonderful weekend, just be kind to each other, be nice to each other, and try and be a little bit more supportive in the current world that we're living in, because for some people it's more stressful than others, but I think everyone's having a tough time at the moment, so let's all be a little bit more considerate of that. And I think on that note, I'm gonna go have a cup of tea. So thank you all, goodbye, and I'll see you at the next one.